I say if you have
there's hundreds of people kidnapped by Hamas. What's your point?
No, they're kidnapped. Yes. In fact,
that you're saying that 1,200 people weren't murdered?
If a terrorist group would decapitate people, if terrorist group would burn people, you know what terrorist groups does? They terrorize. They will show them off. Like ISIS, they were burning people in cages. All right? We will not find about the atrocities of rape or about decapitating from other sources, because the terrorist group, by design, terrorizes. They will go in with their GoPro, they will show you the babies that they decapitated. They will not gonna hide others like, oh my, we didn't do it, because terrorist groups does that, right? Remember ISIS, when they were burning people in cages, they like to promote their terror because the terrorist group wanted to terrorize the public. We have not seen anything of that.
That's one of the most naive comments I've ever heard. We've seen videos, countless videos, of them gang raping women and then blowing their head off while they chop off one of their breasts. We've seen these videos.
No, you haven't seen it.
Well, are you fucking crazy? Of course we've seen these videos.
You haven't seen it.
We've seen dead bodies littered all over kibbutzes.
You have read about it.
Okay.
And I can
go watch the videos.
And I can,
You're choosing, this is selective ignorance. This is selective ignorance. That's like me saying, if that's like me saying, of course Israel's not bombing indiscriminately. No, they have. And I'm at least willing to own that. And I'm not Israeli, I'm American.
By the way, I'm not defending Hamas. They did
but you are equivalent.
But what I'm saying is all of these like decapitating babies, that is wrong. That never happened.
Okay, it was only a few.
A few? How many?
Dude, I'm not there on the ground. So what's your argument?
We have pictures.
Let's be clear here. What's your argument? That they didn't decapitate one baby's head?
No.
So what are you saying?
I said that what Hamas did was terrible, but it was inflated by things to make it emotional, to think that it's okay to kill all of those people.
It was inflated. So it wasn't 1,200? Well, how much was it?
I don't know.
Okay. So Israelis' numbers are inflated, 1,200, but the 30,000 from Hamas is not inflated? You're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
As a matter of fact, according to Israeli survivors, they said that many of these casualties happened because Israeli troops came in and indiscriminately killed everybody, including the hostages.
That's the first time I've heard that story. I've been
first time because you are not covering, because you have not listening to the survivors from the Israelis.
Every morning I read credible sources, Wall Street Journal, Fox News, Bloomberg. Okay, so what are you reading? Hamas.com? Like, where are you getting your sources?
Haaretz.
Okay, Haaretz. Yeah, the Israeli newspaper.
The Time of Israel.
Yes, of course. I read those too.
They have actually brought
I've never heard them say one time that 1,200 people were not murdered. Not in one paper.
No, I didn't say that. Okay. I said many of those numbers that were killed, they were killed because of the indiscriminating interference by the Israeli troops, and many of them died because of...
4 people were killed that way when they tried to rescue the hostages.
No,
the fact that you're trying to equivocate 1,200 people...
You're late in the game.
Basser,
you're late in the game. There was a woman that was named Dalia. She came out on an Israeli podcast and she said that everybody in the kibbutz were died, and then we went out and we said the Israeli tank, the one that fired on the whole kibbutz.
This is bullshit stories.
Right.
You think the IDF is just coming in and just spraying down kibbutzes? That's like saying American troops are just coming into a conflict here and just spraying down fellow Americans.
It's called the Hannibal.
Bullshit.
It's called the Hannibal Protocol. Look it up.
Yeah, we'll look it up. But I think that's bullshit.
Bossan, I want to ask you a question. So going to that day, all the stuff that we found out since that day, we found out, Rob, that they knew. Apparently, they had information intelligence for a year that it was going to happen. The day that it happened, apparently all the defenses were down. Hamas got to run rampant for 6 hours. Mayhem. They asked, John Kirby went up, and one of the reporters from Fox asked, how did you guys not see this with all the intelligence? And he said, and I quote, now is not the time. Since October, it's not, 3 months, October, November, December. We're in January right now. They still don't know. We saw this thing called the Jericho Wall, where Israel, a leaked document where Israel already had a plan of what to do with all these, all the displaced people. They want to send them all to Egypt and all the countries in the United States. Bibi Netanyahu was on a video saying how he could do whatever he wants in Gaza because Americans are gullible, and he could do whatever on the home video. Bossan, what do you have an opinion on the knowledge, the pre-knowledge of this was going to happen, and the fact that they got to wait, they got to do whatever they want for 6 hours with one of the sickest military, sickest intelligence? Do you think like they knew, they let it happen? How do you feel about?
I'm no military expert at all, but like watching this, the fact that they've been doing this for 6 hours, and this is the most guarded border ever. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't even have a dog pass by without being shot. And these walls has been tried and tested, and the fact that they get in and they continue, like the wall by itself is 7 meters up, 7 meters down the ground. It's one of the most fortified borders ever. And then you go in, the Apaches didn't even appear until after 6 hours.
That doesn't make sense.
And you understand like how Israel and Gaza and all of these are like very small. Mm-hmm. These are like very small. This is like a plane can be there in 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, these are the questions that I don't want to go into conspiracy theories, but these are the questions that the Israeli community has been asking. This kind of failure. A lot of people inside, again, conspiracy theories, I don't want to adopt any of them. It's like, it's because of Bibi was having under a lot of pressure from his Supreme Court, so he wanted something to kind of like divert it. And, you know, when people want to divert something, like they make a conflict. Mm-hmm. But it kind of like, it got out of hand. Mm-hmm. And the fact you can go in, lily-willy, with very primitive weapons and go inside of Israel and come up. I mean, just a year ago, there were 50 Palestinians that were killed by snipers just because they came in closer to the
border.
And they were like holding flags. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they go in and you see like all of these military bases empty for the taking and coming back with cars and with people and with hostages. I mean, if I'm an Israeli citizen, I would be pissed.
Of course, I want to answer.
I would like to have some answers. So I don't know.
But Bassem, let's go to the last thing, because for me, I'm curious with solutions, right? Some say, well, this is going to keep happening. It's never going to stop. It's been going on for hundreds of years, couple thousand years. It's going to be ongoing for another couple thousand years. Perfect. Okay, fine. So that's one argument. Now, for the people that maybe are solution oriented and they want to figure out a way to, you know, improve things. You said 2006, Hamas gets elected because, you know, what it was, but today it wouldn't happen. Today, if they do have an election, who controls the election? Because you were a little bit not elusive. You were not clear about why they're not having fair elections today. Who controls the elections?
I wish Hamas is not in charge of. I wish the whole thing about the Islamization, Judaism of this conflict is not there. Because that is making everything worse.
So how do you get
the
rid
whole
of Hamas?
idea about like putting so much religion on the Israeli side and on the Muslim side? It has actually it is the reason why this conflict is getting worse and worse and worse. It's because now people are like kind of like rooting for the divine, and whenever you put religion in any conflict, this is going to get worse and worse. So the thing is, there is a problem, a fundamental problem for the rights of the Palestinians in the land of Palestine. Now, whether you create a Palestinian nation on the 22% after using like Jimmy Carter once said, it would have to have like a two-state solution using Gaza, using the borders of 1967 with modification and land swap. That is what the Palestinian Authority are actually accepting. Hamas does not accept that. And there's other people who does not accept that. And at the same time, people on the Israeli side does not accept that. You have radical people on both sides who want all or none, and kind of fairly moderate people who want to stay in the middle and say, all right, let's have a little bit of a swap. But what is happening right now is the two-state solution is being shot and dead a long time ago. Because even Benjamin Netanyahu, when he came out and he bragged about how he have spoiled the Oslo Accord and how Americans don't care and we have manipulated them and 80% of America are with us so we can do whatever the hell we want, even if we can kill as many Palestinians as possible. And he was there on camera. When he does that and there's no repercussions, I don't think it's going to get any better. And I think it's going to be a matter of time until those Palestinians will be, if it's not today, it's not this year, it's the year after, all of this Gaza will be cleared out and the Palestinians will be pushed into Sinai and Israel will take it over. And it will not stop like that, because if you put 2.2 million people, put them in Sinai, that will be a security threat, because those people will have an open access to the sea and they will have weapons. And then they will want to avenge what happened to them and they will go in and attack Israel. And now it's going to have a dual problem between a group of people, between Israel and Egypt, and that will not get any better. So I'm just like telling you, I'm not very optimistic about what will happen, because if you don't have justice and you don't have people what they want, they are just like people are going to get justice in themselves, and then they will be called militant terrorists, freedom fighters, no matter how you call them. But it's not going well.